You can be you can be undefeated as a pro fighter. You can be training some of the dopest fighters in the world. And you can have the most luxurious gym. It can have all of the coolest bags, and you can still have no impact. See, if you're undefeated as a fighter, it's not a fighting problem that you're dealing with why you can't get management, why you can't get promoters. If you're undefeated and you're working with fighters and you think you should be noted and you're not really a big name yet, it's not a skill problem. It's not how good you are. You have an attention problem. You see, when you have an audience of people that depend on you, then that's where you start to have more impact. You don't get turned down when you got a page or presence that requires hundreds of thousands to millions of people to pay attention to you. You see what I mean? And this is where we all get mixed up, where you start showing people what you're doing, right? And nobody really cares. You're not getting the traction. You're not growing at a rate that says that you are important. That's because you're not really clear about what's going on with your marketing. Because before you start marketing, you have to have an identity. That is titled the word brand, brand identity. People don't understand what you are. So you don't have a skills problem. What you have is an identity problem, a personal brand. It's not established. And everybody knows what it looks like when they see it. But the reality is you don't know how to operate in it because it's not clear to you what you're moving and leaving out. But having the awareness of this will only set you up. See, when I started in the training field 4 decades ago, one of the things that I knew is that I wanted to teach this thing because I loved it. My passion was there. But what I had to do over the course of time, which has gotten me millions of people, was the fact that I made it clear what I was about. And I had to switch what we call do a brand adjustment from a trainer to a coach. There's a difference. Trainer shows you what to do, and a coach tells you how to do it, how to actually implement it when it counts most. That's why there's trainers on football teams, trainers in the gym, and then there are coaches on game day. Okay, so there's a distinct difference between the two. From there, I had to show I'm a teacher, and a teacher is educating coaches, with clinics and being there to support them at events that they're taking part in. So then I had to make another adjustment. And from there, it's going from teacher to professor. What does the professor do? The professor no longer coaches, they no longer train, and they no longer teach. What they do is they create the actual formulas. They write the books. And so all of these things had to be put into a place where you made an adjustment to your brand, or there's going to be brand fusion. From that point, now knowing all of these things, learn what bigger problems these guys are going to have. And the bigger problem that everybody's going to deal with is knowing which thing to do. So now I had to come into the world of consulting with people who are trying to build a brand identity. That's where you go. You progress, and trust me, it wasn't easy to figure all of these things out. I had to go to courses, I had to take workshops and learn. But what you're doing is not losing your cachet and your skills. You just have an identity problem. Therefore, it's going to be hard for anyone to want to do a deal and try to bring you in or come in as sponsors or endorse you or do a big contract with you as a fighter or a trainer. You get what I'm saying? So like I said, it's not a skills issue that you're dealing with. You're dealing with attention. And now, as a brand expert, I am in the field of architecting these brands. And I'm a connoisseur now in numbers, right? A numbers broker. These are the things that you have to realize that you're just missing those little components because you've gotten to the place that you've gotten to because you were good enough. But what you have to do now is scale. And when you scale, you take what you did and go to the next level. So like I said, you don't have a skills problem or a quality of what you do problem. You have an attention problem. That looks like getting your social media done in a way that it actually is valuable to people when they see you. And you have to build what we call brand authority in the industry. So if you're a trainer, you're a gym owner, you fight. Like, see, we're here for the boxing game on all 4 tiers. And that's what you have to make that adjustment. So if you're trying to make that adjustment, that's what the issue is. You learn how to get consulting and know what direction to go, and then boom, build the Swiss Army knife on how to actually carry that out. I got a strategy team, and I had to get things in play for people who are in the position that you're in. So with that being said, that's it. That's your issue. Just take care and make sure that you don't get discouraged, because you can handle this thing. All you got to do is understand what's your brand and who are you. It matters who you are. The only thing that matters is your brand.
Hit the stop here, sure.